Alright, welcome back to Skyrim. To recap, I was about to be executed, then a dragon attacked, and some Imperial guy rescued me. And then I came across a mine and got distracted because I wanted to loot it. So, let's see. There's a whole blacksmith workshop here, I guess I'll make use of it. I have a couple of iron ingot. So I'll just improve this helmet and the shield. So it makes them both slightly better. So that's pretty much smithing in this game. You can create stuff with the forge, be that weapons, armor, or jewelry. And you can improve weapons with a grindstone, and you can improve armor with a workbench. So there's no repairing in the smithing when you're smithing in this game. Just gotta sleep real quick so I can have the rested bonus. So there's no repairing because nothing ever deteriorates. So that makes the gameplay a little more free-flowing. Gives you fewer things you have to worry about as a player. But I guess it's kind of better this way because with the addition of the the improving feature, if you had to worry about that in addition to having enough repair hammers to repair all your stuff, that might be a little bit much. Although, I personally, I wouldn't think it'd be too much, but I don't know. A lot of people wanted things simplified from Oblivion. They felt that the smithing stuff was just too tedious. It could get tedious at times, I do agree with that. But I think if they implemented it the way they did in Morrowind, it wouldn't be so bad. Because that game didn't require you to repair your stuff quite as much, or quite as often. So yeah, if you want to have good armor and good weapons, you really should go with the smithing tree. I mean, I'm not even going to put stuff in my armor tree to begin with, because when you put stuff in your smithing tree, as long as you have smithing workshop to work with, then you're immediately given a bonus to both the amount of damage you do and the amount of damage you can take. So it's, when you improve your smithing, it's like you're improving your armor and your weapon of choice, two-handed, one-handed, both at once. So smithing is really important, even if you're not even interested in making stuff, because of how it improves things. And I feel like it's a little bit overpowered, and it's just kind of weird and immersion breaking too, because nobody else in this game improves their stuff or even carries improved stuff unless you make the improved stuff and give it to them. So that's always it's always seemed a bit weird to me. It's like having this advantage that no other character in the game has. And the way leveling up the skill works kind of strangely too, because you're not going to increase it at a good rate by making armor. unless you have like really good armor materials. The way you're really going to increase your skill quickly is by making jewelry, which you know, that really just does not make a whole lot of sense because how many jewelers do you know that also make armor? Probably none, because making jewelry and making armor is really different. Also, I just got completely destroyed there. Should probably be more careful. Okay, I'm over here again. Need to go back here and get that axe. Sorry for bumping the microphone. I should probably also talk about those loading screens that are coming up. You might have noticed that they're a bit off. It's because of a mod I have installed that changes the text. It happens to be a mod that I made. You might be thinking that the one that mentioned like the Akaviri in their language, you know, that you might have thought that was kind of offensive, but you know, it was. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a time code on the video, I guess. But like, it was it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek. Like, I don't actually use the term moonspeak, like unironically. Anyway, I didn't actually think that I would be showing that mod on my videos. So apparently the textures are not loading in correctly. It's weird. Are you seeing this? What is this all about? Okay. Well, this game is pretty buggy. Weird stuff like this happens every now and then. Oh, now it's fixed. Now it's fixed. Alright. So here's our first town, aside from Helgen. Here's the guy that rescued us. He's still walking here. It certainly took his sweet time, didn't he?
Uncle Halvar, hello.
Feindal thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already mine.
Are you on leave from shores, bones? What happened to you, boy? Are you in some
Uncle,
kind
please,
of trouble?
keep your voice down. I'm fine, but we should go inside to talk.
What's going on? And who's this?
He's a friend. Saved my life, in fact. Come on, I'll explain everything, but we need to go inside.
Okay, come inside then. Sigrid will get you something to eat, and you can tell me all about it.
So this guy's pretty accepting. I mean, he'll let a naked elf wearing a helmet just, you know, walk into his house, no problem. Oh, come on.
Sigrid, we have company.
Hadvar, we've been so worried about you. Come, you two must be hungry. Sit down and I'll get you something to eat.
Now then, boy, what's the big mystery? What are you doing here looking like you lost an argument with a cave bear?
I don't know where to start. You know I was assigned to General Tullius' Guard. We were stopped in Helgen when we were attacked by a dragon.
A dragon? That's ridiculous. You aren't drunk, are you, boy?
Husband, let him tell his story.
Not much more to tell. This dragon flew over and just wrecked the whole place. Mass confusion. I don't know if anyone else got out alive. I doubt I'd made it out myself if not for my friend here. I need to get back to Solitude and let them know what's happened. I thought you could help us out. Food, supplies, a place to stay.
Of course. Any friend of Hadvar's is a friend of mine. I'm glad to help however I can. Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can. But I need your help. We need your help.
So here's a new mechanic that is introduced. If you make friends with somebody, then they'll let you take a certain subset of their stuff. And as far as I know, it doesn't really matter how much of their stuff you take, they won't really mind.
The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your debt.
So here's the dialogue system. It's about like dialogue systems from other RPGs. It's a bit of a departure from the ones that were in the previous Elder Scrolls games. You don't have a list of topics, you actually have a list of sentences to choose from. That's a bit different. I kind of like the topics because then you can just kind of imagine what your character is saying instead of having it written out for you. I don't know, I thought that was that was kind of what made the dialogue system stand out and gave it a certain charm, but it's, I guess it's not really that big of a deal, but so you can also move around. Well, that's not working right now, but
Until next time.
yeah, you can just walk away in the middle of talking to him.
Hush, John.
Well,
Don't
I'd
pester
better
your
get some
cousin.
sleep. Don't me though. You two make yourselves at home.
So yeah, it's a nice conversation we had. He started talking to me. I stared at him for a little while. Then I turned away and walked. You can tell I must be very fun at parties. So I can take a whole bunch of his stuff. He doesn't mind.
Take what you need, my friend. Within reason, of course.
Yeah, within reason. He won't let me take his shield. I can take everything else. I can sleep in his bed. But the shield, no, that's off limits. Okay.
It's nice to be back in a friendly spot, huh?
So now that I'm friends with him, I can also take all of his ingot. So that'll be helpful. I think I can make steel armor now. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't have the right stuff. Yeah, I need to have leather strips. I don't think I have any leather on me. Yeah, you get leather from killing animals. And then you use this tanning rack to turn it into leather strips. So you need a combination of steel and leather to make steel armor. That's how it works with most armors. So, I'm still naked. If this guy's shop were open, I could buy some leather strips. I don't think this store is open either. Oh, it is, okay.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that. Well, I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Alright, so he sells hides. It's probably most cost effective to just get hides. Because, if you buy leather, then you're also
Damn thief.
paying for the labor of tanning it. So, create leather, and then from leather we get leather strips. How many leather strips did I need? It was like 2. But I made 4, so that's enough. Okay. Alright. We will now make steel armor. And need more steel ingot to make boots. So I'll come back to that later. Oops. Oh, I can sell this stuff. Yep, so I'm a little better protected now. Wait, what time is it? Yeah, see, I think when you first enter this village, like, the Riverwood Trader is like always open, but then later on it has normal hours.
My sister Camilla or I will be happy to help. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Should probably get his spells. Lesser ward. Yeah, that'd be good. I'll get that and get oak flesh and raise zombie. Perfect. Oh,
Maybe you're... yeah, we did have a bit of a break-in. We still have plenty to sell. Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament. Solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw. You could? I've got some coin coming in from my last shipment. It's yours if you bring my claw back. Now, if you're going to get those thieves, you should head to Bleak Falls Barrow, northwest of town. Yes. So now you don't have to go, do you?
Oh, really? Well, I think your new helper here needs a guide.
No, by the 8, fine. But only to the edge of town.
I don't really need a guide because, you know, if you see the E3 demo, you pretty much already know that you need to go to Bleak Falls Barrow. That's where you get the claw. I really didn't even have to ask him about the claw to do this. And that kind of brings me to something that I like in this game over, that's the wrong button, over Oblivion. And that's that the quests are a bit, let's say open-ended. Like you can kind of jump into the middle of a quest without, you know, going to a quest giver and having it start. So it's kind of like, it's more like Morrowind in that way. Because in Oblivion, a lot of the times you'd like go to a quest giver, then tell them to give you the quest. But you know, if you already know about that quest and you go get the object that they ask for, then the object won't be there until you like ask them about the quest. And that still happens a bit in this game, especially with like the Radiant quests. That pretty much always happens with that. But that's because those are procedurally generated. There's nothing wrong with that, I think. But that also carries over to the main quest too. Like there are even some side quests that interlock with the main quest, which I find particularly cool. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Skyrim's story, like its main story, but the way the quests are put together, I think are pretty ingenious, or is pretty ingenious. And I cannot aim for shit. Okay, there we go.
Let's see what you've got.
Alright. I might as well start using my conjuration. Oh, I need to read the tomes first. Whoops. Alright. So I'll raise this guy as a zombie. This is how conjuration works in this game when you summon zombies. Like, you don't summon zombies, you actually raise them like a proper necromancer. And that's really cool, I think.
I love the
So if you don't have any dead bodies around, you can't really use that spell. Oh, there's also Daedra summoning. Even though there's not really a whole lot of Daedra in this game, or different types of Daedra. I mean, you have the Atrax, which are kind of Daedra, but not really. And you have the Dremora, and that's about it. I mean, I think there's other stuff in the expansions, but like other Daedra in the expansions. But in the base game, it's just Atrax and Dremora. Did this guy create two piles? How did he do that? Okay, I'm not going to be able to sneak attack him.
That's it? That's all you got?
Alright. So he's got boots and gauntlets. Two things which I badly need. So the inventory system in this game, I really don't like it. Like the interface, particularly. The interface that you see here, it's not the vanilla interface. This is SkyUI, which incidentally is the most popular mod on the Skyrim Nexus, and probably because people probably have similar opinions on Skyrim's interface. It's just, it's very clunky. It doesn't, it's not all that responsive, I think. I mean, it works okay for consoles, I guess, but not so much for, you know, if you're using a mouse. That's kind of a problem that a lot of games have when they get ported to PC. Alright, so this is Bleak Falls Barrow, which just flashed atop the screen, so you probably know that.
I'll show you a real fight. Yeah!
It might just be my imagination, but I think in this game, arrows and spells do a lot more damage than they did in Oblivion. Like, see, I'm holding my own against these bandits pretty well. Like, none of them are casting spells, and I'm able to dodge their arrows pretty well, but like earlier, that mage that was casting that cold spell on me just completely destroyed me. And they're even scaled to my level. There is level scaling. But even so, spells can be pretty deadly. So it's really important to get either resistance or use wards. There aren't any resistance spells. You get resistance effects from potions, but for spells you use these things called wards. They're restoration spells that like put up a shield in front of you. Here, I'll show you real quick. So when you use this, it constantly uses magicka. If you're low level, it'll drain it really fast. And like, you have to charge it up a little bit before it really starts blocking any kind of magical attacks effectively, so it's a bit difficult to use. It adds to the challenge in a good way, I think. Really, if you're not a magic-focused character and you come up against spellcasters, you really should just, you know, either have really good resistance potions with you or just run the hell away. So I need 30 smithing to get dwarven smithing. Or I could go the elven route, but I'm going to do light armor, so I should go to dwarven. Alright, let's see. I could improve my restoration. Although I want to do alteration, but before I do that, I really need to improve my heavy armor. Unless I'm high enough to improve this. Yeah, the armor can wait. So I also want alteration because, not because I am particularly fond of the alteration spells in this game, but there's just one particular spell that I want to be able to cast. I won't spoil it right now. You'll find out later what it is. The good thing about perks too is that even if you don't like the spells that are associated with you know, one of the magic skills, you still get perks that like give certain effects to your character on the skill tree for like alteration, for example. So in alteration, you know, you get your basic perks that make it easier to cast the various levels of spells, but you also, let's see, you also get spell resistance, which is exceedingly useful, and absorption, which, you know, that doesn't come until you get 100 in this skill, but really super useful. So it's good to have good alteration skill, even if you're not going to use a whole lot of alteration spells. It's mainly just protection spells that you cast. Like, they don't protect against magic, they protect against like physical stuff. So it's kind of like the shield spell from Oblivion and Morrowind. In fact, I think all the previous games had that. But anyway, enough babbling. Let's sneak attack these two people. What? How did she know to dodge that? It's like friggin' Neo from the Matrix over here.
I'll mount your head on my wall.
The game is stuttering for some reason. I don't like it. Why is the game stuttering? Oh, it belongs to the High Elves. Okay. Alright, I'm going to save and reload. Try to get rid of this stuttering. Stuttering might be a result of some of the script extender stuff that I have installed. That can be buggy sometimes. Still doing it, damn it. Ah! It's driving me crazy. Alright, I think I'm going to take this guy with me. He might turn out to be useful. Alright, come along. So if you go around casting like conjuration spells and a bunch of dead bodies, your skill won't actually go up unless there are enemies around for them to fight. So that discourages grinding, which is always a good thing in my opinion. Anything that mitigates grinding is something that makes a game better, I think. Yeah, I know RPGs always have some sort of grinding to some extent, but the more of that you can get rid of, I think, the better. Oh man, he's about to expire. Oh well. So that guy is kind of a moron because he fell for a really obvious trap. So this is one of Skyrim's puzzles, in air quotes. I mean, the attempts at puzzles that this game does, most of them are really kind of insulting to the player's intelligence, because usually the answer is like put right in front of your face. Like you see, you have snake, and then uh-oh, there's nothing here, and then whale. So they made it a little bit harder by putting it down here, but you know, you can kind of noodle it out that you're supposed to do snake, snake, and whale, because you know, the snake one, I guess it just fell down at some point. So there are a lot of puzzles in the game that are just like that. Like, that's all it requires. You just look around, look at the sequence, set the sequence, push the lever. But that's really not even the worst kind of puzzle that's in this game. You'll see one that's even worse than that pretty soon. Where's he going? Die already. You're not getting away. Alright. Should really kill these guys quickly because they can give you diseases, and that's not fun. So you might recognize Arvel the Swift. He was in the E3 demo. You'll notice his voice sounds a little bit different. I'll get to that. If you don't have a bow or ranged spells here, this part is nearly impossible. I've done it, but I had to try, like, I had to reload like 10 times. Now, maybe if you played it on easy, then it wouldn't be so hard, but otherwise, it's tough. Do-do-do-do-do. It's a really interesting fight here, isn't it?
Get it away from me! Get it away!
Okay.
Kill it! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
You! Over here! You did it. You killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up. Yes, the claw. I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories. I know how they all fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there. Sweet breath of arcade, thank you.
So if you've seen the E3 deck demo, you'll know
It's coming loose. I can
that
feel
he
it.
immediately runs away after you cut him down.
Never should have.
So I'll just go ahead and kill him. He's got the claw. And also, in the E3 demo, he had Jeff Baker's gravelly dark elf voice, which he doesn't have in this game. And that made me very sad, because I thought that that voice was coming back. But it does kind of come back in one of the expansions. You meet an old returning character. I probably shouldn't spoil that. Won't tell you who it is. Alright. Level up. Improve my armor. I'm just going to try to use as many skills as I can while fighting these guys. This is kind of like training for me. Alright. So here's a trap. If you step on it, this will swing into you and immediately kill you. And your followers can trigger it. So if you have somebody following you, make sure that you're clear of the trap before they catch up to you, or else they'll get you killed. This guy has a cold spell and I don't like it. Oh, get away from me. Get it away from me, get it away. See how this is just utterly ravaging me? It's ridiculous. It's the first time I've had to use healing potions. I usually don't like to use healing potions because I think they're a little bit broken. Oh, look at that, I leveled up again. Dang. I think they're broken because, like, you can just pause the game and then use as many potions as you want. So, you know, how long you last in combat depends a little bit too much, in my opinion, on how many potions you have. I don't really think it should be like that. It should have more to do with the tactics that you use. Because potion chugging is not really a fun game mechanic, let's be honest now. It's not fun to just sit around and click on an item over and over. I can lure these guys into the trap. I'll let him finish you off. come on. Come on, do the honors. Oh, you idiot. Stupid draugr. So, I really think the combat is a lot more fun in this game. There's a lot more ways to strategize than there is in Oblivion. I feel like that's like really where the game has the most improvement. Well, aside from the graphics, but it's a whole different discussion. Aha. Here's something fun to do. So you wake this guy up, then you shoot this burning lamp, light the oil, and he's dead. Ah, so satisfying. The only problem is when you do that, the game kind of punishes you by giving you fewer chances to increase your skills, because it doesn't really increase your skills when you set fire to oil. Whoops. Okay, they're all low-level draugr. Alright. This is probably going to be my most well-rounded character, and have a whole bunch of different kinds of skills. Let's see. I really want to mine this. Oh yeah. It's a good idea to mine ore veins, because not only will you get ore from it, sometimes you also get jewels. So you can make jewelry later. And it's always important when you want to be a blacksmith, because making jewelry improves your smithing skill a whole lot, as I said before. The technical reason for that is that your smithing skill goes up based on how expensive the thing is that you're making. So jewelry is really expensive, so if you make jewelry, that increases your skill faster. Crap. There's some amethyst. Can use that in jewelry. So this guy can be a little bit tough. Kinda wish I had a body around that I could reanimate. But we'll just have to make do. Yeah, I have this paralysis poison, so I'll use that. Actually, I don't think that works on draugr, so never mind. Just do the best I can. I think I can take him. Maybe. Just have to bash him while he's power attacking. But now I don't have any stamina, so that's going to be kind of hard. Alright, come here. Come here. Come on. Oh, I didn't bash him. I think that's going to kill me if it hits, so I should probably heal. Let's see. I think this goes up at 40. Sneak. Backstab. Deadly aim. I can deal with that later. For now, I will just increase my archery. Dang it. So they removed some skills in this game, but one skill that they didn't remove that I think they could have gotten rid of was the lock-picking skill. Because, you know, lock-picking is already based on partly the player's skill. And pretty much everyone who plays is going to want to pick locks, so I think it really would have made a lot of sense just to get rid of the skill entirely. That's just my opinion. I mean, back in Morrowind, you needed it because, or in the previous games really, all of them, except for Oblivion, you needed it because, you know, lockpicking was a die roll, but now that it's not a die roll, you don't really need a numerical indicator of your skill anymore. But that's just my opinion. That never gets old. Oh, he's got some better arrows. Oh, he's got a good bow too. I should use that bow. Might as well just get rid of this because I won't get much from selling it. And I had a hunting bow. When did I get a hunting bow? Huh. Oh well. Sometimes I go on autopilot while I'm picking stuff up. So this is that amazingly terrible puzzle that I mentioned earlier. So I guess the first time it's not really such a bad puzzle. I mean, I guess it is pretty clever to, you know, if you look at the claw and then you realize, oh, these are the same symbols here. And that's a pretty satisfying aha moment. But thing is, the game recycles this same thing like 100 times. So bear bird now. Okay. So after you figure it out the first time, it's not really even a puzzle anymore. I think it's cool to have like these dragon claws open these ancient doors, but I really think that after this one, none of the other ones should have had that puzzle associated with it because it really only works once. So here's the boss of the dungeon. Gonna pop out of there. And this is a word wall, so I can learn my first shout. So it's a good idea to just always start with this dungeon so you can always get the first shout early on. Just look at the wall, read the dragon language, and then you can, well, you can't really use it yet, I don't think. Frost resistance, that's actually extremely useful. I'm definitely going to use that. Let me see, can you use the shout yet? I don't remember. No, you can't use it yet. He can shout. Ah. He does a lot of damage too, as you can see. Only problem is his AI is not great. So if I just dance around this chest and snipe him, he won't really know what to do. Ah, but he's good at dodging. I'll give him that. He's down. So he's got this dragon stone, and you need this for another quest, but you can get it preemptively, which is nice. So if you've done the same thing a million times before, you don't have to talk to the quest giver who wants it. you can just go get it and then give it to him later. And here's another really common dungeon feature. In this game, you probably noticed that, see, this dungeon, it's extremely linear. There's not really a whole lot of, you know, like looking around for where you're supposed to go. It's just kind of point A to point B. And when you get to the end of it, there's always an exit nearby. So like when you get to the boss of the dungeon, then, you know, the exit's always right here. And I mean, I get why they did it. It's to make the experience smoother, make it so, you know, it takes less time to get enjoyment out of stuff, but it also just makes it feel a whole lot more like a theme park ride rather than an actual dungeon. So it's kind of immersion breaking in that way. Not really a huge complaint that I have. But I would have preferred if the dungeon exploration was more freeform and not so on rails. I mean, like the dungeons look great and they look really interesting. I just wish that they had they were more maze-like, I guess. Alright, let's get back the claw, get our reward.
The sooner you find... You found it! There it is! Strange. It seems smaller than I remember. Funny thing, huh? I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
Okay, so now he'll let you take some of his stuff, but not his more expensive stuff, because he doesn't like you that much. But not sure if this exploit still works, but I remember at launch you could do this. Okay, you got this kettle.
Thank you so much for taking care of those thieves. The Riverwood trader is back to the way it used to be.
Okay. I think if you just cover his head like that, then it still works. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, so if you cover his head, then he can't see you. So you can just steal his stuff. I mean, he won't question why you're putting something on his head either, so it makes him
You and me, we're the only people
makes him
around
a lot
who
easier to
aren't
rob that way. I mean, it's funny that Bethesda went to the trouble of making it so NPCs can't see through physics objects, but that also makes it so that they're blind to you stealing stuff. So, yeah. I think I'll cut it off here. Next time, we'll go to Whiterun. Until then.